Hello Arsenal fans, and welcome back to the Arsenal Report, your ultimate destination for everything happening in and around the Emirates. If you thought Arsenal were done after wrapping up 6 massive signings this summer, think again. The Gunners' transfer engine is still roaring as the week begins, and multiple deals are quietly brewing behind the scenes, with technical director Andrea Berta now shifting focus toward departures and potential final arrivals. Let's start with the recent high-profile addition, Viktor Gyökeres. The Swedish striker arrived over the weekend in a thunderous £85 million move from Sporting CP, joining a lineup of new signings that already includes Christian Mosquera, Noni Madueke, Christian Nurkic, Martin Zubimendi, and Kepa Arrizabalaga. If performance-based add-ons are triggered, Arsenal will have shelled out well over £200 million during this window, a figure that would make even Europe's wealthiest clubs pause. With that kind of outlay, it's only natural that the club now begins to look at exits to rebalance the books, and more importantly, to keep Arteta's squad sharp and streamlined for the demanding season ahead. But Arsenal's transfer story is far from closed. If anything, the next chapter could be just as exciting. Let's talk about some names that could be headed out, or possibly in, before the weekends. First up, Reiss Nelson. The winger looks poised to depart, yet again, for Fulham. Talks between Arsenal and the West London club are advancing rapidly, and there's every reason to believe the deal could be finalised in the coming days. While initially expected to be a standard loan, sources indicate that Arsenal are pushing for a clause that includes either an option or an obligation to buy Nelson permanently by the summer of 2026. The Gunners' preference leans heavily toward an obligation, which would effectively bring Nelson's time in North London to a close after years of unfulfilled potential and frustrating injuries. Fulham remain keen. Marco Silva is believed to be a big admirer, especially after Nelson's bright performances during his brief loan spell last season, despite injury setbacks that restricted him to just 12 appearances and 2 goals. Then there's Gabriel Jesus. Rumours are swirling fast around the Brazilian forward, who's reportedly been linked with Flamengo. Speculation emerged from Brazil claiming that talks are underway for a season-long loan in which Arsenal would cover half of Jesus' massive £250,000 a week salary. However, reliable journalist Fabrizio Romano has since poured cold water on those claims. While Flamengo might be circling, Jesus' destination, if any, remains far from certain. What's clear, though, is that Jesus' constant muscular issues have become a concern, and with Arsenal now flush with attacking options, including the newly acquired Gyökeres, the idea of Jesus leaving is no longer far-fetched. If not Flamengo, other clubs like Barcelona, AC Milan, Newcastle United, and even Spurs have reportedly shown some level of interest. Now let's look at other potential exits. Midfielders Fabio Vieira and Sambi Lokonga, along with goalkeeper Karl Hein, are on the chopping block. While concrete bids haven't emerged for this trio yet, Arsenal are actively seeking permanent moves. These players represent fringe options under Arteta and are unlikely to feature heavily this season, so the club is eager to find them new homes. Unfortunately, a lack of serious suitors could mean that some of these deals get pushed into late August, or not materialize at all. That said, 2 bigger names could be on the verge of surprise departures. Jakub Kiwior and Oleksandr Zinchenko have both attracted interest. Kiwior, who has steadily grown in influence since last season, is being linked with a return to Serie A. However, Arteta is reluctant to lose the versatile Polish defender, who now plays a crucial squad role. Zinchenko, on the other hand, is firmly on the market. Arsenal have made it known that they are open to selling the Ukrainian international, and interest is heating up. AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund have already inquired, and Arsenal are reportedly looking for just £17 million to let him go, a surprisingly modest fee for a player of his caliber and experience. Now here's where things get even more intriguing. Should Zinchenko's departure be finalized in the next few days, Andrea Berta already has his eyes locked on a blockbuster replacement, Crystal Palace superstar Eberechi Eze. Valued at £60 million, Eze is seen as the perfect injection of creativity, flair, and direct attacking energy. The one stumbling block? Arsenal likely won't pay the full £60 million up front. But Berta is working on a structured offer, potentially £20 million paid immediately, with the rest spread across manageable installments. Sources close to the player say Eze is very open to the move. He's been watching Arsenal's rebuild from afar and is reportedly intrigued by the chance to work under Arteta. If Palace are flexible with payment terms, and if Arsenal can offload 1 or 2 more names this week, there's every reason to believe this deal could accelerate quickly. Eze would bring a new dimension to the Arsenal midfield, potentially linking up with the likes of Martin Degaard and Zubimendi to form one of the most exciting creative units in Europe. With the clock ticking toward the September 1st transfer deadline, Arsenal's week ahead could be one of the most decisive of the entire window. Will Nelson leave? Will Jesus finally be moved? Will Zinchenko's departure unlock a mega-years deal? And could one or two of those fringe midfielders finally find their next chapter? Stay locked in, Gooners. Because while some clubs are winding down their summer, Arsenal are just getting started.